Karen Sue Brown Davison.
Yes, that's me. Soy yo. Well, how I backed into joining BCCO. I never had any intention of singing. I had no interest in singing, but my business partner at the time, Nancy Brink, who was a soprano in BCCO now and had sung before, wanted to interview Arlene Sagan, our second music director. And since I record sound, she asked me to go with her, and she would do the camera work and I would do the sound. And I thought, well, I can do that. So I went, and I had no great expectations. And we walked into this crazy house. It was a beautiful house, just crammed full of stuff. Music scores, pianos, just tchotchkes everywhere. And there was Arlene, and she was, this is a woman with absolutely no physical vanity whatsoever. Her hair was everywhere, her cuffs were frayed. She was not dressed the way you would think somebody would dress for a video interview. And I found her utterly engaging. I just completely fell in love with her. Her mind was so lively. She went in 60,000 directions all at one time. She'd dart from one subject to the next. And then she'd stop and say, "Is this really interesting to you?" And then she'd start again. And it just went on. And I just adored her. So I thought, well, I'm going to edit this footage. I will go to BCCO for one semester and sing one semester, just so I get what BCCO is about, and then I'll stop. So I went, and I ended up sitting in the tenor section. And I was totally unprepared for how completely compelling it was. Physically, it felt good to sing. Emotionally, it was very moving. Intellectually, it was very challenging. And socially, I got to know all these really interesting people. And I was completely hooked. And I do have a sort of morbid bent. So singing masses and requiems really appealed to me. I like all that existential terror. And so I just kept singing. And then I thought, well, I wonder if I should volunteer. So the chorus manager was asking for volunteers to help set up Monday night rehearsals. And I thought, well, I could help. So I went up and I said, I could help do that. And she said, great, you're in charge. And I thought, oh, well, that's how they do this. So I was in charge of setting up chairs. And I learned how to do that. And I really enjoyed that, actually. And I met lots of people doing that. And that was fun. And then, but I kept saying, I will never join the board. I will never join the board. I will never join the board. And then one night, 2 board members came over and asked me if I would join the board. And everything inside was screaming, no, no, don't do it, don't do it. And I said yes, because I was absurdly flattered. So I joined the board, and for the first couple of years, I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. But then I found some things that really, really interested me on the board, mainly the strategic plan. I liked policy stuff. So I saw her working on that, and I became more and more engaged. And I always knew I would never be president of the board, because that looked like the worst job in the world. But when the time came and there needed to be a new president, and there I was co-chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, and there were a lot of things I wanted to accomplish, and I thought, well, maybe I should do it. And I asked Ken Lindahl if he would be my vice president, and he said, reluctantly, I think, yes. And so we did. And it was really a fabulous 2 years. I learned so much. Everybody was so gracious. It's such an amazing group of people. I felt like I contributed, but I got even more back than I put in. And BCCO is like that. It will capture you in ways you had no idea, and once you're caught, you are caught for a long time.